saw you concerned. That is why I thought perhaps we are already late. So, excuse me, will you permit us to bring this to an end after this young man asked the questions, because this meeting was to last until 8:40. And then because the prayer time begins, people are waiting for prayer, so we must part. All right? Moreover, I request you to ask these questions which keep agitating your minds, addressing any Ahmadi, and because I have been speaking for so long, in so many countries, you will always find, I hope, I can't say every time, but mostly you will find your answers in some of my recorded addresses. And this all has been catalogued, made easy for access. So whenever you ask an Ahmadi, he can contact the headquarters here in USA, and they all have a full library of these cassettes. So they can reach the right point and request you to listen to that. So in that way, your questions will remain unlimited, and so, right? Thank you. Now please.
Hazrat Sahib, my question is about salah.
About?
About prayer.
Yes.
I was taught that faraz is mandatory, and that sunnat is like half mandatory. But how much less is faraz mandatory? I mean, sunnat mandatory than faraz?
Sunnat mandatory? What? Mandatory. Yeah. Well, it's a simple question of terms of. According to the Muslim scholars of all sects, they all agree, in jurisprudence, the word faraz applies to such mandatory things which have been clearly mentioned in the Holy Quran for us to do. And it has been also mentioned that if you do not do that, then you will receive Allah's wrath. He will be angry with you. So all these things which are mentioned directly in the Holy Quran, and also mentioned that one is threatened or warned against, they are called faraz. They are the prime ones. Second in order are those injunctions which we find in explanation of the Holy Quran in the words of Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and which he did not only instruct but also performed all his life. He said, say prayer like this, and he went on saying prayer like this. That would become sunnah, and that is called not faraz but wajib. You see? Which means it is essential for you to follow sunnah, but it is not of that prime order as the farz which has been mentioned clearly in the Holy Quran. So in prayers, we find Ahmad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say certain rakat of salat, sometimes before a prayer, sometimes after a prayer. In all such cases where he stuck to them all his life. The Muslim scholars have agreed that it is a must for us to do that, because he never deviated from that. So we must do. But it is not of the same order as farz. So this is the relationship between the farz of salat and the sunnah of salat.
Oh, so it's not like nawafil though?
What?
So it's not like nawafil?
Nawafil is different. Nawafil means it is called mustahab. If you do it, it's better. If you don't do it, no displayer is mentioned at all. In case of sunnah, displayer is mentioned, because the Holy Quran says, follow Muhammad Rasulullah Sallam in the conduct that you find him performing throughout his life. That is sunnah. Just follow him. If you don't follow him, you will displease him. But where the Holy Quran says, or he says, that you may do it or you may not do it, that becomes nafal. You understand that?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Now, to end this session on a happier note, I will share a joke with you regarding this. something which will explain to you what nafal is. A Sikh once went to Peshawar to meet some of his very dear friends. There were two friends of his who visited Peshawar before. And you know the Peshawar people have their particular customs. So they went together to a restaurant, and after they drank their cups of tea, one of the friends reversed the cup and inverted it. The other one placed it exactly in the standing order, the same order. So this Sikh was very much in doubt as to what should do, to whom should he follow. So after remaining in, dilly-dallying between this and that, he said, ultimately, he laid the cup sideways. Neither erect nor inverted. They were surprised. They said, Sardar Sahib, your very dear fellow, what have you done? Why are you doing this? He first explained why you did it. So the one who had placed the cup in erect position, he said, because it's a custom here that after having drunk one cup of tea, if you want some more, you always place it in the erect position, indicating that please give me some more. So he turned to the other one, why did you do that? Tell me please. So he said, because it's a custom, when you don't want any more cup, that's an indication no more. Then they said, now tell us please, why did you put it sideways? He said, what I meant was, if you could please do it, otherwise I don't mind. That is nafal. Thank you.
Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum.